This is 13 ABC Action News. Good morning.
Hi there. Good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Sashem Brey. It is 6 o'clock this morning, and we are on the countdown to the official Christmas holiday. You know, that panic of shopping. It's just about wrapping up, hopefully. A massive water main break just outside Washington, D.C. sent at least 4 feet of rushing water across a roadway. Check this out. A helicopter lowered a basket to a car that had a woman and a child inside. Now, there's no confirmation, of course, at this point that the accident we just saw there was caused by the weather. Good chance, though. The roads out there very slick. As we speak, a search is underway in the Dallas area for a man who opened fire during rush hour, killing 2 motorists and injuring another. And with heating costs up, you might be tempted to find one of those alternative sources of heating. Well, 13 ABC's Ephraim Graham is live with some tips to maintain a fire-safe home during this deep freeze. Good morning, Ephraim. Thanks so much, Andy. It's 6:15 right now, and Toys for Tots might be struggling nationally, but local chapters are beating the odds. The head of the Monroe County effort tells 13 ABC this has actually been their most successful year ever. The snow and the ice, it all started about 3:30 this morning, and it has not stopped. In fact, in some areas, it's picking up in intensity.
We've been on the air since 4:30 this morning, keeping you updated.
All right, we're going to get here to another live shot in just a moment. First, we have an update just into our newsroom. AEP is reporting to us that more than 400 customers now without power in Hancock County, which is also under a level 1 snow emergency right now. We have another sheriff now. As we said, we're really getting representation for you from all the areas of Northwest Ohio. Right now, Erie County Sheriff Terry Lyons on the phone with us this morning.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing?
Yes, if you do happen to step out this early this morning, the first thing I noticed was the conditions are different. Yes, it's cold, but instead of that straight ice that we've been seeing, it's like a slushy mess out there. 4 people who say they regularly put money into a pool to buy a Mega Millions ticket have filed a lawsuit now for a share of that $207 million jackpot that was won by a group of city workers in Piqua. Those 4 workers say they were regulars but did not contribute to that one lucky ticket because they were out of the office. The lawsuit claims the group had been pooling money for 5 years, and members had agreed that they would share the jackpot equally if they ever won. Snow, ice, then rain. It's made the roadways as slick as a skating rink in some spots. Greg Bilazarian traveling around in our mobile action cam with a look at the roadways. Greg. A Toledo woman is in the hospital this morning after her mobile home exploded. Fire officials say after that explosion, the home burst into flames. The resident, Ann Caudle, was able to get out alive, but she was severely burned. She's in critical condition at St. Vincent Mercy Medical Center. At this point, no word on what caused that explosion. That's a look at our top stories at this hour.
5:28 right now. The Buffalo Bills football team.
I think I've heard of them.
They're looking for a few good men and women.
But not to play football.
No.
In case you were hoping. They just want you to clear the snow.
What? 5:31 right now. We appreciate you sticking with us on this Christmas. It is almost the end of the year. Can you believe it?
I know. No, I cannot.
Good morning. I'm Jeff Smith. Thanks for confirming.
No problem. I'm Sashem Brey. It's 5:31 right now. A live look at Levis Commons here behind us. And I do believe some stores will be open for those last-minute desperate shoppers. New at noon, a horrifying Christmas day for residents in one Dayton neighborhood when a car carrying 5 children was hit by another vehicle that ran a stop sign. Police say the suspect fled the scene on foot while neighbors struggled to lift that car off of the 2 children who were ejected and then trapped underneath. According to the Dayton Daily News, the driver of that other car is a suspect in a shooting that happened earlier in the day. Though he was not being chased by police at the time of the crash, all 5 kids were hurt and they were taken to the Children's Medical Center of Dayton for treatment. New at noon, more than a dozen witnesses could be called to testify in Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich's impeachment hearings. Among those being subpoenaed, President-elect Barack Obama's incoming Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel. All right, let's get you up to speed on our traffic and weather. We do this every 10 minutes. Blizzard Bill, I know we're going to have a taste of winter again, but it's nothing like that. And those attacks have triggered protests in more than a dozen countries. And tonight, one of those protests will happen right here in Toledo. 13 ABC's Greg Bilazarian is live with details on that. Greg. Welcome back, everyone. The time is now 6:18. If you're just joining us, here's a check of our top stories this morning. The federal government says it will give GMAC Financial Services a $5 billion boost. That's the funding arm for General Motors. The money will come from that $700 billion bank rescue program. The loan is on top of the financial assistance, which the government announced earlier this month for GM and Chrysler LLC. Crews have now restored power to 80% of Michigan customers who lost service over the weekend during that windstorm. Consumers Energy says about 29,000 homes and businesses are still in the dark and DTE reports another 50,000 outages. But both companies say they expect that service to be fully restored by tomorrow. The 17-year-old accused of shooting and killing another Toledo teen is locked up, but we've learned it's not the first time. Police say last July, Deshaun McCardle was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and before that, he was charged with felonious assault. Police say McCardle killed 15-year-old Antonio Phillips on Sunday morning. That's a quick look at our top stories at this hour. Well, Toledo, of course, is just days from switching over to that new color-coded trash pickup system. Starting January 1st, the city is introducing its new Leap Forward program. Basically, your trash pickup day will be associated with one of the colors you see there, and then everyone's collection day leaps forward one business day after each holiday, for instance, President's Day. That new day will stay your collection day until after the next holiday. Got it? If you have any questions, you can call the City Refuse Hotline. It's 419-936-2510. 6:35 and Waterville police are looking for the man who robbed a local gas station. It happened at the Marathon at 222 Mechanic Street. Here's a check of some stories happening right now, starting with one coming to us out of Philadelphia. Fire officials say that a heater filled with gasoline instead of kerosene ignited a fire that killed 7 people. The fire marshal is saying that pouring the wrong fuel into that heater started what he calls an instant fire that killed 4 adults and 3 kids who were living in that home. There were no smoke alarms in the house. A main road in Pakistan that is used to deliver supplies to U.S. and coalition troops in Afghanistan has now been closed. A Pakistani official says the road was closed after the military there launched a new round of attacks on militants who ignored a deadline to surrender. NATO says it's now looking at other possible supply routes.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Ephraim Graham in for Jeff Smith this morning.
And I'm Sashem Brey. Welcome to your New Year's Eve morning at 6 o'clock on the dot this Wednesday, right? Okay, yeah, it's Wednesday.
You're right.
I got to get myself back on the calendar here. About to flip the page to January. We've got Kristen Emery in for Jay Birschbach for us in the Outdoor Storm Lab. And do you see behind her on the equipment out there a nice little layer of snow for you this morning?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, today many businesses will be closing up early so that employees can ring in the new year. Today, all your local malls will be open from 10 until 6. TARTA is on a regular schedule today, as is your Toledo trash pickup. But tomorrow, a lot of businesses will be closed completely. The Toledo Lucas County libraries and most banks will be closed. Also tomorrow, Toledo changes to that new color-coded trash system we've been talking about. We'll have details on all of these changes on our website, 13abc.com. Welcome back. It is 6:48. Here's a check of stories happening now. The FBI says an armed man is robbing payday lenders in central Ohio and then sexually assaulting the employees. A special agent says the robber has hit 5 payday lending businesses in the Columbus area since December 23rd. An Ohio man was killed in a sledding accident in Lower Michigan. Authorities say 48-year-old Mark Foster of Rising Sun died when his sled hit a tree that had fallen across a trail because of high winds. And the Michigan Supreme Court upheld a rape conviction that was challenged because a juror did not reveal he had been convicted of a similar crime. The High Court ruled 5-2 that the conviction should stand because there was no evidence the juror was biased in the trial of Michael Miller, who was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. We're in the 13abc.com center, as we do whenever we get a number of school delays and closings into our newsroom, and they happen very quickly, usually right around the 6 o'clock mark. It is 6:03 right now, and if you look behind me on 13abc.com, we've got the list which updates every few minutes for you, and that list is steadily growing. We started out with just one delay about an hour ago, and you can see how fast that list has grown. That's right. Actually, I'm looking behind me, and you wouldn't know that people were working today, but this is actually how it's supposed to look, because in weather like this, they're all out there on the streets. And I want to talk a little bit about the streets. Toledo Police, we talked about the snow level emergencies for the counties. Toledo Police operating on a phase 2 right now, which means that they're only responding to accidents with injuries or if there are accidents on the expressway. And I'm going to see if I can get photojournalist Todd Gertner to come out this way, a little bit this way, and I want you to swing around because you can see there is a snowplow working right there as traffic whizzes by on either side, clearing the snow on I-75 right there. So there's your proof. You got the crews working. In fact, the city department tells me that snowplows have been working since Tuesday, our last blast of winter weather, pretty much nonstop. In fact, a veteran with the streets department tells me in his 17 years of business, he would rank the winter weather we've had the last couple weeks as in the top 5 worst winters that we've had. So that gives you an idea of what we're working with so far.